Welcome everyone to today's Ninja Skill Booster. I would like to start by inviting everyone to just take a deep breath together while I do an acknowledgement of country. It's a nice way just to ground, feel your feet on the floor, close your eyes if you like. I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands that we're all coming from today. I'm coming from Guringai country, and I'd like to feel into and acknowledge the depth of wisdom, ancestry, learning, culture that's been happening on these lands for tens of thousands of years. Give thanks and respect to elders, past, present, and emerging. And to all the lands we're coming from today. Thank you. I've opened my eyes again. I'm back in the room. Good morning. Okay. Thank you for putting all your comments in the chat. For those of you that haven't met me, my name is Matt Cowdroy, or Ninja Matt. I'm the owner of Think Productive here in Australia. You're welcome to connect with me via email or any social media channels that you like. We're Think Productive Australia on most of the social media channels. And I'm here to help. We are all here to help, myself and the team here, and myself and the team globally. So Think Productive is a global company based out of Brighton in the UK, founded by Graham Alcott, who wrote the Productivity Ninja book. So we're global. I own the business here in Australia, and we are here to help. So please get in touch with us if we can help your teams, help you with your stress, with your technology, with anything we need. So today, there's a big surprise at the end. There's a good surprise at the end today, different to normal. So stay right till the end for the giveaways if you are here and want to stay till the end. That would be great. If you're watching the recording, sorry, you miss out on the giveaways. Now, the big question for today, why are we using Zoom? Was anyone thinking that? Just put yes in the chat if it was already on your mind. Why are they using Zoom to run a webinar about Microsoft Teams meetings? I'm curious because there's probably a few of you. Yes, it seems a bit uh, incongruent, shall I say. Well, here's the reason we're using Zoom today in an image, thanks to Copilot. Zoom for these free webinars, counterintuitive. Thanks, Natalie. For these webinars, our free webinars, we've got quite a lot of technology that happens in the background. Zoom connects to our website, connects to our CRM, connects to YouTube, it connects into our back end, it helps send out the follow-up emails, things like that. So just for these free webinars, we use Zoom because we've built all this technology, right? When we run our full Microsoft Teams meetings workshop, we run it on Microsoft Teams, of course, so that we can play, so that we can practice. So it blew my mind to think, how can I do one of these free webinars outside of our normal technology? That's the reason. I hope that just settles that curiosity for you. So today we're looking at content from our full workshop called Mastering Microsoft Teams Meetings, which is a 2-hour session where we go into even more detail on this, give you a bit more information about that at the end. So please, in the chat, how do you feel about Microsoft Teams meetings? I'd love to just get some comments here, and I'll read some of these out for the recording. I won't read out your names. I can't see this in the recording. So let's see. What do you feel about Microsoft Teams meetings? I'm only using the basics. They are never ending. 30 minutes or less are good. I use it for meetings only. I hate Teams less than I used to. Okay. I love it for the interaction and the live sharing for presentations. Mixed feelings. It's annoying. I use it every day. Yeah. You prefer Zoom, Nick? Okay, well, welcome to Zoom. I'm in there all the time in capital letters. They keep me connected as a remote worker. They're a waste of time. Okay, so some of these comments refer to meetings in general, and we do have another workshop called Fixing Meetings, which can help with some of those meeting issues. The Microsoft Teams meeting session is around getting better functionality out of the technology. All right. Thank you for all those comments. And by the way, lovely to see so many of you here today. So let's get into it. when we think about Microsoft Teams meetings, there's options that many of us don't know or many of us aren't using. So some of this might seem a bit basic today, but some of it will be like, oh, I've seen that there all the time, or I've never seen that on the screen. So when you create a meeting, when you first create a meeting in there, there's different options. When you click on new, you can create an event, which is like a normal meeting, the channel meeting, which is just a slightly different version of that. But today we're going to get into some different versions, which is webinars. So webinars is one of those options. So with webinars, it's a bit different to a formal meeting. There's slightly less options for audio and video. You can also have different registration forms and things, custom questions. You can brand your event. So webinars are better for bigger groups and they create more of an opportunity for sharing information like this. Now, the other one is town halls. So what we're doing today, we're just sharing some of the ideas. You can dig into these deeper. Town halls are for bigger events, up to 10,000 people. So town halls are designed to be like webinars, but even less interactive. It really is about sharing, presenting. Up to 10,000 is massive. And what we can do with town halls, we can do things like live distribution, so putting it live out to different technologies, large scale events, organization announcements, like live streaming. That's the word I was looking for. I just had to look for it in my notes there. Live streaming, top down communication. So town halls are good for this. The other option that was in there was virtual appointments. I'm curious, just another quick question for the chat. Has anyone used virtual appointments before? Yes or no? I'm curious to see if there's any features here. Mostly no. Okay. For those of you that said yes, what have you used it for? I'm curious. By the way, there's only 1 or 2 people that have said yes. Virtual appointments are an opportunity to think about making an appointment for your dentist, checking in with program participants. Thanks, Alex. It's an opportunity to create a space or a link or a meeting where people can book in. There can be appointment scheduling, automated reminders. There's a virtual waiting room. So it's like you're going to see your doctor or your dentist. You'd sit in the waiting room before someone lets you in. And I know there's a lobby for other meetings. It can be used for one-to-ones. Yeah, it can, Tiffany. We don't have this functionality, says Natalie. Yeah. For today's session and always with this Microsoft Teams training, everyone's options are different, right? It does depend on your IT settings. So you may not have all of this, or you may be able to ask your IT team to turn it on. One functionality for virtual appointments where this is good is interviews. So people can join without having to have your team set up, without even having to have the Teams app. They can just join through their browser with a link they can book in. So if you're interviewing, this might be a really interesting tool to use for that. I'm going quite quick today. The idea of today is to share with you what's available. We're not necessarily getting into all the nitty-gritty of how to use all this, but maybe we don't know what we don't know. So today I'm hoping to teach you what we know. So Loop, some of you have already started answering this question. Have you used Microsoft Loop? So far, lots of yeses. Okay, all yeses, couple of nos. All right, yeah, no, 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 no. We've got about 50-50 on this one. Okay, that's good. Yes, but frustrating. Yes, but not much. It's great. Okay, as usual with all these tools, there's a scale of responses coming through. I'll be vulnerable for a moment here. When I first saw Microsoft Loop, my response to our global team was, let's not include this in our training. It's confusing. It's just another collaboration tool. And who needs just another collaboration tool? We've got Teams, we've got everything else, right? But I've been proven wrong because Loop is extremely powerful. Loop, one of the best uses for Loop is meeting notes. So Loop is a Microsoft tool that has I think of it like an octopus with lots of tentacles. It has its tentacles into everything. And when we use it for Teams meetings, it's really powerful. So here's how to use it for Teams meetings and for collaboration notes or notes that everyone can access. When you're setting up your Teams meeting, setting it up through Teams is better rather than Outlook because you do get more functionality. Depending on your version of Outlook, you might not have this in there. So you might need to go into your Teams calendar. Yes, it's the same calendar as your Outlook calendar, but you get more functionality in there. So when you're setting it up, you click on add an agenda down the bottom. Now, this looks fairly bland. It looks like it's not going to do much. But once you click on that, it actually opens up a Microsoft Loop component. Now, this is getting saved in Microsoft Loop, which is a separate app that you can always go and open up separately, but it will also always be available in the meeting. So in here, you can see that it's got sections for, an agenda at the top. Then you can put meeting notes. You can even put follow-up tasks in here during the meeting. So you can use this before the meeting to add your agenda. You can use it during the meeting to add notes, and you can then use it again after the meeting, during and after, for all the follow-up tasks. Now, here's the key thing. Most people get into their meeting and think, can't find my agenda. Where did that go? I put it in the invite. This is a little bit weird, but you have to click on the notes button. So you can see the notes icon there on the screen. You don't click on agenda, or it's not called agenda, or it's not called loop. It's called notes. Thank you, Microsoft. So once you're in there, click on notes and you'll see it all. Everyone will see it there in the notes area. It is brilliant. Then as you start adding actions, so you can add follow-up tasks during the meeting, you can assign them to people. And if this is happening, if you're doing this and people are using either Planner or Microsoft To Do, which we've trained thousands of you on, those tasks get automatically added to their Microsoft To Do and or their Planner assigned to them. So then when you open up that task in To Do, it links back to Loop. So I'll have a task in my To Do that says, do this thing. And if it doesn't make a lot of sense, I can click on that and go straight back to Loop, straight back to the meeting notes. Now, what do you think of that? I'm seeing some comments in the chat. I don't like that it can be edited, deleted too easily. Okay, Simone, yeah, it is very collaborative. That's one of the things. That's why OneNote is good to have alongside this. OneNote's more for storing things. Loop is really collaborative. That's very cool. That's awesome. Very cool. Brilliant. I'm so confused. Okay, Carissa, confusion's the first step of learning. So that's okay. Restricted to meeting owners setting up the agenda. Yes, it is, I believe. Where do we find To Do? To Do is a Microsoft tool called Microsoft To Do. If you just search for that, it should be already on your computer or in your Microsoft apps. I was wondering why I couldn't see notes in other meetings as the agenda hadn't been set up. Yeah. Depending on your meeting, there's a bit of a trick here, Jody. As long as everyone in your meeting is internal, you should be able to use notes in the meeting. I believe it depends on your settings again. You should be able to use notes in there even if the agenda wasn't set up in advance. Okay. So once again, all of this changes depending on your IT settings, your version, your Microsoft subscription. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of talking, right? So just wanted to take a moment to give your ears a break. If we have a series, will it have a list of agendas and notes for each meeting in the series? Can you view all notes in a series from a single place? Good question, Andrea. I'm going to be open here and say I actually don't know. Just need to test that one out. I haven't played with Loop for a meeting series. But you can this is the beautiful thing with Loop. You can always go back to that Loop component in Loop. So even in the next meeting, if it wasn't there, you can put a link in the chat to get everyone to open up the Loop component. Can everyone see the notes and minutes as you're typing them? Yeah, they can, Renata. Yeah. As long as they're internal. So it's a little bit different when you're having meetings with external parties. They don't see it. All right, lots of questions coming through. This is the fun and the challenge with Microsoft because there's so many questions. When the meeting's over, you can go back to the meeting recap and you can just press view the meeting agenda and notes, and you'll see it. You go in and see all the notes, all the actions, all there. So beautiful. Can Copilot add the notes? If it's the, yes, it can, Simone, if it's the premium Copilot. We're going to talk about Copilot towards the end of this. Now in Teams, there are different presenter modes. So today I'm using Zoom. I'm using what is similar to the side-by-side mode in Teams, because you've got me beside the slides there. It'll look different in the recording because it does. But in the live version here today, I'm beside the slides. So in Teams, this is so easy. When I present in Teams, and I normally use the side-by-side mode that you can see here, it's amazing how many people ask, Matt, how are you doing this fancy side-by-side thing? I'm going to show you how to do this. But firstly, there's 3 options. Standout puts you in front of the slides, which is great. Looks really fancy because you kind of cut out, but it can cover things that are on the slides. So you might need to design your slides in a way that include that. Side-by-side pops you directly beside the slides. It's great. It's a fancy background on there. Looks very professional. If your slides have a lot of detail, the downside of this is the slides get a bit small. Reporter mode puts you like a news reporter beside the slides. Once again, love that as well, but it does make the slides a bit small. So how do you do this? Play with this. We've all used the share button. When you press share in Microsoft Teams, it's amazing how many people have not seen this function here, presenter mode. All you do is select which mode. Thanks, Simone. Oh, wow, I didn't even know this existed. Yeah, you're not alone. Who else didn't know this existed? Just put me in the chat if this is new to you. Just put me, or I didn't know yet. Wow, okay. Incredible. Wow, okay, that looks like most of you. So it's there. Under the share button, press the presenter mode, and then you go and choose what you want to share. And there it is. You're going to look so professional in your next meeting. Is it new? No, I don't believe it's new, Jason. We just don't see things. We just we just do things in a repetitive way with respect. Now, noise suppression. There's a quote in our hybrid meetings workshop, and I'm sorry I can't remember the source of this quote, but we say the beauty of virtual meetings is they can be held anywhere. The downside of virtual meetings is they can be held anywhere. It's one of the problems with people joining virtual meetings or Teams meetings is background noise, background distraction. So we can turn on noise suppression. We can do this in our Teams settings before we even create the meeting, or we can do it during the meeting by just clicking on the audio settings. I'm sorry we're not in Teams today because you could test that now, but there's options there just to remove the background noise or to specifically isolate your voice. More features, accessibility features. There's this thing called CART, Communication Access Real-Time Translation. That sounds very fancy. Under the more feature, by the way, in the follow-up email for today's workshop, I am going to send you a PDF of these slides because there's a lot in here, I know. And as most of you will know, these are recorded. I'll send you the recording, but you might like to flick through the slides as well. So there will be a PDF of the slides. Under language and speech, you can show live captions. So these will show live captions on the screen. Now, this blew my mind when I recently learnt about this and trialed it. Interpreter. If you're working in a global organization, and we work across the globe in our organization, and we do have different people who speak different languages. Everyone speaks English in our organization, however, many multilingual people. So you might be having a meeting with someone in France and they don't speak much English, or South America, whatever. You can speak in English and they can see the subtitles in their local language. How incredible is that? Live. So could speak to you English now, but you would be reading it in French or reading it in Portuguese or something like that by turning on this interpreter. That is mind-blowing. I didn't know that existed. Is it accurate? I don't know, Maya. Sorry. But it's a pretty cool feature. It might help. Yeah, that is amazing. Keyboard shortcuts. Just a quick one here. Did you know in Teams, if you press Control and full stop. I just paused there because for a minute I thought it was window and full stop, but no, it is Control and full stop. In Teams, wherever you are, if you press Control and full stop, you'll see all your keyboard shortcuts come up on the screen. So this is more just a Teams tip than a Teams meetings tip. But seeing all these keyboard shortcuts can help, and then choose your favorite keyboard shortcuts that you want to use, and you will save a lot of time. I want to tell you one more shortcut in Teams. In the search panel in Teams, if you put a backslash, this is gold. This is another one of these things like, wow, why didn't I know this? If you put a backslash in the search, it gives you shortcuts. You can backslash, you can change your status. Backslash, you can search or call someone. So not search, call someone, for example. So that's in the search panel at the top of your Teams, Microsoft Teams, not the Teams meetings. All right, I just get excited about these time-saving shortcuts. Wow, that's cool. Can the audience choose their own language? Yes, I believe they can, Bridget. That's amazing. That's cool. Lots of lovely comments here. Thank you, everyone. Camera effects and settings. Most of you will know about these already. You can have no blur on your background, so we can see the radiator here behind Dee. Thank you, Dee, in our UK team for preparing all these screenshots. If you turn on the blur, the standard blur just blurs everything, looks a bit nicer. And obviously you can put on lots of virtual backgrounds as well. Now, if you want to have some crazy fun, there's extra stuff under the filters. There's even this thing called Maybelline. I haven't played with this, but Maybelline, the makeup brand, if you just want to have a bit of fun with your team, you can actually go in there under filters. You're not all going to have this. It has to be activated by your IT department. You can go under filters and you can put makeup on. You can put, I think you can put facial hair on, all sorts of stuff, but Maybelline's mostly focused on the makeup aspect. Put on some lippy, rouge your lips, whatever you need to do. Put on some eyeliner. All right, so that's just a bit of fun. Not a chance my IT department would add that. Okay. Now let's talk about Copilot. Add hair. Thank you, Wilma. Yeah, I'd like to add some hair. All right. Copilot. This is super helpful in our Teams meetings. If you have the standard Copilot, actually, let me just do another quick poll here, just using the chat. Do you please put standard or premium or I don't know? Which version of Copilot do you have? Standard or premium or I don't know? If you don't know, you've probably got standard. Quite a few don't knows. Microsoft is so confusing. Oh, but Microsoft is also so great. A lot of you don't know. Okay. If you don't know, you've probably got the standard version. Premium is expensive. It's about $320 per user per year. I recently got premium. I'm loving it. I do think it's worth it. Yeah. But anyway, if you have standard Copilot, which is most of you by the looks of it, this is how you can use it. It's still really helpful, but it's not reading or listening or interacting with what you're doing live. You need to feed it the information. So before the meeting, you could feed it your agenda, your purpose, your goals, your attendee list, and ask it to improve your agenda. Or you could just feed it some thoughts and say, create me an agenda. You can get it to create polls for you. Once you feed in some information, ask it to help you create polls for your meeting. Once you feed in your agenda and maybe some background information, you can ask it to help you prepare some talking points or prepare some Q&A. After the meeting, you can feed in the transcription. So standard Copilot will transcribe for you, which is great, but it won't do anything else. But it will give you a transcription. But you can copy and paste that, feed it back into Copilot, and you can ask it to summarize the meeting. You can ask it to pull out the key points, generate summaries. Now, these features are manual because it's standard Copilot. Premium Copilot's a totally different beast. And Premium Copilot is actually blowing my mind, by the way. And I'll tell you another quick story shortly. So standard Copilot's great, but you've got to feed it. You've got to feed it the information. Premium Copilot can just go back and look through all your emails with the people who are coming to the meeting. They can look through meeting transcripts. It will go and look at everything for you, and it will suggest an agenda. It will help you prepare. It will transcribe. It'll summarize. It'll do actions. Premium Copilot will summarize the decisions that you've made. It'll break down the actions by person, anything you haven't covered, any risks or concerns. Like it's listening to your meeting. It'll draft messages for people who missed the meeting. Because it's listening, you don't have to feed it. It's already there. Okay, so this is Premium Copilot. Copilot Studio, I don't know, sorry, Maya. I've only been looking at the premium versus the free. There's also, just to add another complication to the mix, there's also something called Teams Premium. If you have Teams Premium, you'll probably have a lot of these features. It's very similar to Copilot Premium. In the research I did, it basically said, don't get Teams Premium, just get Copilot Premium, and you get all the features anyway. So we try to fit these into half an hour. So what features are you most excited to try today? Just what's your light bulb moment? I'd really love to know. What's your light bulb moment from today? Thanks, Haley. What's the one thing you've seen? I'll explain how you know if you have standard or premium at the end. Loop, loop, loop. Everyone's loving loops. Shortcut, presenter mode, meeting notes, loop, loop. Okay, language translation, presenter mode. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, everyone. We've only scratched the surface today. Half an hour. There's not so much we can do in half an hour, but once again, thank you so much for coming. We've only scratched the surface. Our full workshop, Mastering Microsoft Teams Meetings, we go into a lot more detail. We cover all of this and a lot more. So there's a special offer for you today for our upcoming public workshop. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to answer lots of questions. If you want to stay on the line, I'm going to answer all your questions as well. In upcoming news, so we've got our public workshop, Mastering Microsoft Teams Meetings, on the 22nd of April. We've also got another 6 weeks to Ninja coming up. I know many of you have expressed a lot of interest in our 6 weeks to Ninja. So check those out on the website under public workshops. If you want more information about Think Productive and everything we do, you can download our brochure from the website. I'll just put a link in the chat. That's our brochure. That outlines all the workshops we cover and everything. So please check all that out. And thank you so much for coming. What I want to do is show you the giveaways. Now, I need to stop the recording for this. I'm going to answer all your questions as well after we do this. I will just pause the recording. If you're watching the recording, thank you for coming. I realize this has been a pretty quick run through today. Let me just pause this recording. Don't go anywhere, everyone. We've got 2 really great giveaways for you.